everyone, welcome back again to another exciting episode of the Fancasted podcast. I am one of your hosts, Barry 3D, and on my side, I have my cousin, the man, the myth, the legend, the DJ that's got you rocking on these cold nights. And if any baby making is happening, well, it could be because of him. Who am I talking about? The one and only
Rod C. Yo, DJ Rod C is here. What's going on, people? We're gonna have some good times tonight. If you're doing any baby making, listen, wow. We might have to come a character for baby making, and now this guy just dropped this on me like that. Holy Toledo Batman. I'm out. Deuces. I don't know.
You know, I'll say this real quick. I mean, let's just wait, right? Twitch on Wednesdays, that's when Rod's playing, man.
Oh, yeah.
He's playing the R&B and the hip-hop and the old school stuff.
Yeah. Mondays, Sunday, yeah. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm so flabbergasted. The man just said, you know, that, and now I'm trying to think of a character. Do we bring in Scott Summers, because he's just like having multiple problems?
Yeah, no. He ain't a good father figure. He ain't.
That's why I'm like, no. Well,
he's more or less to love him and leave him. Sometimes it seems, right? That's caused his problems. So we'll come back to that one. We'll come back to that one. Right on. Go back to one of our older episodes, like Star Jammers. Go back to our Star Jammers episode, and you'll see how we talked about some of the Summers line, or when we talk about Bishop and Cable. Just gosh. Right. So we will get right into it. You, as usual, you know where to find us. The links are down below. For myself, it's barry3d.com. That's my website. Find all the links to this and any other show that I'm doing. Quick shout out to the comic book stores that support us. That's Check Swings out in Montreal and Wow Comics out in Kitchener. You know, thank you very much. Rod, real quick, where can they find you?
Listen, you can find me on the World Wide Web on the Instagram at Mr. Rod C, MRRODC. You can also find me on the Twitch at DJ Rod C. Ladies and gentlemen, we're out here having some fun. We're out here. Let's do this. Listen, as you can see, we got one more person we got to say a shout out for. Who can that be?
You know who it is. If you need any kind of work done for your social media, posters, your business, whatever it is, no matter what it is, if you hear about this man on the Fancasted podcast and you tell him that, he'll give you a discount. But you need to know his name. Rod, who are we talking about?
J Bird Digital Art.
J Bird Digital Arts.
Let's go.
That's right. You reach out to him. You let him know you heard about it on the Fancasted podcast, and he'll hook you up with a discount on any work you need to get done. As a friend to the show, thank you, Jay, for being out there, and he's loving it every time we do his name with a reverb. Last thing is Touch of Great Comedy. Touch of Great Comedy is a comedy troupe that I'm a part of, and that's my boys, Zolf Ali, Dave Sokolowski, and myself, Barry 3D. You know, and we are still trucking along, going through, and we got more shows coming up. We got a show coming up, and you know, just keep an eye out on the website. You'll see. We got stuff coming up all over. So, we are good?
I think we're good.
Happy? And today, on the Fancasted podcast, the icon is Serpentor.
Cobra, la 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 la.
Crashing through the night. Evil. It's Cobra. That's
this I command. Oh my gosh, that's the tagline. We'll get into that.
That's the line you need to use as a parent sometimes, because sometimes the kids don't listen to you and you're like, clean your room. Why? This I command. That's good parenting right there.
Oh my gosh. So true.
Yes,
so true.
I know a lot of videos I've seen online have talked about G.I. Joe and talked about Serpentor. And yes, we are doing the same thing, but because this is the Fancasted podcast, we are going to Fancast it.
What's Fancasted? Yes, but we'll do that at the end.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Stay
tuned. So Serpentor, why Serpentor? Why not? We talked about G.I. Joe before. And with all the G.I. Joe movies that have come out, we've seen the characters have now been fleshed out by either great voice actors or great actors playing them live. And I've enjoyed the G.I. Joe movies, right? You know, come on, Hasbro, give us that universe. That's what I'm waiting for. So we were saying, well, who has it really been that should be? And I went, man, I need a good bad guy. And I love a good bad guy. and you couldn't get better. I mean, Cobra Commander is Cobra Commander. But Serpentor.
That's next level.
You know, 2 G.I. Joe movies in the bag right now. Come on now. If we come up with a third one, Hasbro, we need Serpentor.
Facts.
We need the Serpentor, not a Serpentor, not a version of Serpentor. I want the Serpentor.
Right.
Head to toe, the Cobra Emperor. And how you want to do it is 2 ways. Now, what's interesting about Serpentor is he has two origins. There's the Marvel Universe G.I. Joe comic book origin,
right?
Or there's the 5-part episode, Arise, Serpentor, Arise. Cartoon version. We have our favorites. We've got our takes. We've got our takeaways. Here we go.
Right.
So Serpentor was made, and I mean, he came out. I mean, so in the comic book for Hasbro, so for comic book, G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, by Marvel Comics, issue number 49, which I'm glad to say I have from the original run. Back in 1986, Serpentor made his appearance in issue, as I said, 49. And the idea of him coming about was, once again, the catalyst was Dr. Mindbender. Mindbender said, we needed to have a super soldier. Why? Because in Marvel, everyone is a super soldier to a certain degree.
Yep.
Including the Marvel Universe. And the character was voiced by Dick Gunter, by Sundown in the Marvel cartoon, and then Maurice LaMarche by Dick cartoon. So this is like after, one is pre G.I. Joe the movie, the other one is after G.I. Joe the movie, just to kind of put it in perspective there for you, because they changed characters that way. And Serpentor he was made, so in the comic book, he was made as a super soldier, and he was made up by all past famous dictators, leaders. Your Genghis Khan and Attila the Hun, and the list goes on. Dr. Mindbender had an idea of getting all the DNA to make this super soldier, put it together. He made this fake body, a simiclone that he called it, threw it in this tank, and wanted to get the DNA to use his brainwave scanner to pull out all the military strategies from these past leaders,
right,
to put into the body to make the ultimate super soldier, as they were calling him at the time. During this issue, though, or prior to that, Storm Shadow, the Cobra Ninja, gets shot. Oh no! He gets killed. Oh no! Dr. Mindbender says, put that body on ice. We're going to add him to the mix. Now, here's where the differences come in, because between Storm Shadow, who is a ninja master, granted, with modern day technology, tactics, warfare, and skill, along with Dr. Mindbender's current knowledge of current times, with the past leaders, put into that blender and dropped on to Serpentor, brought him up to date that he was a full-grown man coming out of the tank with all the knowledge of everything that's present day, but with all the old school tactics in the past.
Right.
So that was the comic book version. The cartoon version, once again, Dr. Mindbender, everybody else, they lost Sun Tzu's DNA.
Right.
And they needed to replace it. But they were fighting Sergeant Slaughter. So they got Sergeant Slaughter and they put him in place of Storm Shadow, so to speak, to get his modern day military, his prowess,
strategies.
And so the comic book has, he's part ninja, but in the cartoon, he's the greatest soldier, Sergeant Slaughter.
Right.
Who, by the way, follows us on Twitter. So hopefully you follow us on Twitter too, under _PC for the Iconis podcast.
Nice.
Yeah, he does. And I was shocked. He follows us like the real Sergeant Slaughter, not someone pretending to be him, like WWE. Get in there, maggot. Freeze, disease. Oh man.
Wonderful. No, seriously, it's the combination of what Serpentor was created, at least from the. So if we're gonna go from the comic book, not the comic book, the cartoon aspect of it, right. They basically decided to say, okay, Dr. Mindbender, we'll get into the story. Basically, it's a whole slew of different, great historical figures: Julius Caesar, Napoleon, Attila the Hun, Alexander the Great, Ivan the Terrible, Vlad the Impaler, Hannibal, Genghis Khan,
right?
Eric the Red. Like the concept. I will even say this: if you look at it, that the thought process, even that's right in the story, of having the ability to say that you want to now pull all these great figures, because we've always had these kind of thoughts. I wonder what would happen if Julius Caesar, Napoleon was now, was in this day and time. What would they do? Type of scenario. You wish you could have some. You can tax. I can use some of the prowess of all these great, like Genghis Khan. What if I had that in my DNA? The greatest idea that they wrote up is to say we're going to combine all these great figures, these great generals, all these great conquerors, and put them under one in a blender? Come on! That's a great idea. That even if I think of it right now, Barry, please confirm with me, and anybody in the chat, put it down in the chat. Have you even heard of anybody doing anything else along that line? I don't recall anybody doing to the level of having so many different characters under one umbrella. That is the part that, like, woo, you hear maybe 2 or 3 max, if anything, 1 to 3 max. But we got like what, 7 to 10?
Yeah,
that's different.
Yeah,
that's different.
Of course. You always hear about bring back this one soldier or this one person. All of them take their brains, put it into one body. A perfect specimen. Okay, so he's got the skill. So now here's 2 parts. We'll start off with my point in the comic book. In the comic book, he comes out. They revive him. They put him in the tank. He comes out. He's seeing light. It's like, what's your name? Dr. Mindbender is like Serpentor. It's got a serpent name. I like it. Call him Serpentor. And he comes out and he's like, oh man, the light's blind. Because at one point they're in Springfield, not the Simpsons Springfield. Yeah!
Nice.
Are they? There's more than one Springfield in the States. Same. So at this point, Cobra's taking over a town called Springfield. And that's where they're sitting, all their agents are living, that double life under, during the day, they all look like normal, but they're all Cobra affiliated one way or the other.
Right.
And he's in the museum of Springfield. He comes to life. The lights all go out because G.I. Joe realizes that Springfield is a Cobra base, that whole town. And they go in there to invade. They cut the power. Lights go off. And, it's Dr. Mindbender, it's Destro, it's Firefly, and it's Baroness. And they hear the tank moving around. Someone comes out the tank, and Dr. Mindbender's like, who's there? And he flicks a match, and you see the guy like, the light. My eyes are still kind of sensitive. And it's like, who are you? It's like, they think you called me Serpentor? Is because they didn't realize the experiment worked. At one point, they thought the power cut off and it didn't fully go through.
Right.
So no, he gets out there and he's like, okay, I need something to wear. So he's butt naked. He throws on a pair of pants. He puts on a pair of boots. He's in the museum. He sees a Cobra head in a glass case. So he breaks it. He just puts it on like a helmet. Right. And that's like his classic helmet that you see right now in the toy. And he just put on a robe. So he's shirtless. In his first appearance, and the robe's got like 2 little Cobra Insomnias on it. He gets a little pistol, he gets a knife, and he goes, what's going on? And they're like, one of the soldiers walk in and it's like, hey, we're being attacked by this end, by G.I. Joe. They've cut the power, they've done this, they've done that. What do we do? And Serpentor turns around and he goes, okay, you know what? I want to take command. Everyone's like, what? Cobra Commander's like, what do you mean? He goes, look, Cobra Commander, you don't know me, but you made me be the ultimate soldier. Let me lead this effort against G.I. Joe to give the time for the rest of Cobra to get away to Cobra Island, because this is when Cobra Island was just coming out. They just made the island. They were evacuating there. And Cobra Commander's kind of like, I don't trust you, man. He goes, okay, no problem. Give me this person, that person, and give me Firefly. Why Firefly? Because, if I don't do anything right, Firefly will just turn around and backstab me and kill me. He's your insurance policy, Cobra Commander. Okay. Cobra Commander's like, sure, go ahead. What do you need? I need 4 his tanks and 2 of this, and that's it. Very small troops against all of G.I. Joe members coming in at this point.
Right.
And he's like, I got this. And they're like, really? They're like, yeah, don't worry about it. And he goes up in front and everyone's like, oh, we're defeated. What do we do? And he gets on the steps of the museum and he gives this speech like Julius Caesar, hands in the air. He gives this long speech and he gets the morale of these soldiers all like, we'll follow him. And Cobra Commander sits in the background going, oh, this could be dangerous. This can really be dangerous. I need to have, make sure he doesn't get off this, he doesn't leave Springfield.
Right.
Make sure he's assassinated. I'm not sure if he told Firefly or Zartan, but it said, make sure he doesn't get away, So Serpentor goes out there and he fights back. All of G.I. Joe diverts their attention to an airfield thinking, oh, Cobra's trying to escape by the airfield. Chase him down. We don't know who this man is. And he had all these tactics. And the reason he got the soldiers behind him is one soldier got shot and he ran out there in a hail of bullets, picked up the soldier, brought him back on his shoulder, dropped him down. Everyone's like, what are you doing? You're leading this. He goes, no, a good leader knows how no person should sacrifice themselves every life is important for a good leader. We leave no man behind.
Right.
Hold up. Did you just tell me that the bad guy said no life is worth leaving behind? Think about that. That's usually a good guy saying.
Correct.
Right? That's a good guy saying 100%. Leave no soldier behind. You would expect Snake Eyes to go out there and save Scarlet because he's done it.
Right.
You would expect Stalker to go out there and save some of this. They've done it. You would expect Flint and Lady J. If you follow the G.I. Joe by Marvel Comics, they've done it. They've gone against orders to go and save their fellow Joes when they've been captured and gone for a year. They've done it. But we've never heard of the enemy. Cobra Commander's like, oh, you've been shot? Sucks to be you.
I'm out.
Escape. Don't hear that from Destro. And Destro would at times. He's got that character that he would, but Cobra Commander, no.
Oh, no, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Zartan, if you've been captured, you'll go back and get you. Right? But no one, like Cobra Commander would never say, oh, geez, let me risk my life going in the field of battle, being shot at, and save that one soldier that's been wounded.
Yeah. Cobra Commander is like, save your leader. Save me. That is all he is. Like, save me. I am the head of this team. I'm the head of this organization. Save me. You cannot live without your glorious leader. Save me. That's Cobra Commander.
Absolutely. Picture Cobra Commander on a chessboard. Cobra Commander is the king, but understand the queen is the one that can do most of the damage. The knights can do most of the damage. Even the pawn's got to take a hit for the king so he doesn't get in checkmate. The king can only move one space. The queen can go down on a diagonal as long as she wants to go. Right.
Chess. Chess. I don't even know about that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, man.
I'm not the player. Oh, I'll stay over here. Yeah.
Okay, that explains why I was single as a teenager in high school.
Oh, shoot.
Between that and Dungeons and Dragons, I wrote my own future, but it's okay though.
He made it out.
I've gone from one side to the other side where I'm on stage doing comedy, and I've got a family, and I'm good. And and here we are doing a podcast on what? Nerd culture. So who's winning now? Checkmate.
Oh, snap.
Right? And we got to talk about that in DC Comics Checkmate. I like that group. Okay, so.
Facts.
Right. So that was his whole thing. He got the troops behind him. He did everything he needed to do. That was one rallying point. The other rallying point is he's on the tanks. He's giving orders. He gets shot in the shoulder. Everyone's like, oh, no. He's like, what are we? We're not pansies. He walks over. He pulls out his knife, puts it over the flame, pulls the bullet out by himself out of his own shoulder, and then cauterizes the wound with the hot knife. Bandages it up himself and says, what? One bullet can't stop Cobra? Kind of speech, come on. I'm still standing. We're still fighting. Everyone's like, yo, there's the greatest leader ever.
Right.
Keep in mind, he's not even his classic outfit. He doesn't even have the air chariot at this point. As I said, he's out there with a helmet, a cape, pair of pants, and a pair of boots, a pistol, and a knife. There's no shirt, no bulletproof vest, and he's leading from the front, fighting as much as everybody else. Now, this super soldier did hold off G.I. Joe. This super soldier did turn around and save Cobra because their exit plan was their base was under Springfield, and they were evacuating from the high school football field, and not the airfield, not the airport that G.I. Joe fought. So he got all of them to distract and go one way. Now, the smart thing he did is when he was walking out, he said hi to Dr. Mindbender, of course, Destro, of course, Firefly. Hey, follow me. If I don't, put up for him, you can put a bullet in the back of my head. That's your insurance policy, Cobra Commander. By the way, Baroness, you look nice. He flirted with the Baroness. He got all those troops on his side. Then he worked out his plan to say, hey, we got to airlift the rest of these troops and get them to freedom. And they're like, what? You even organized an escape plan for us? And Cobra Commander's still going, yeah, we got to kill him. We got to kill him. We can't let this guy get back to Cobra Island because I can see him usurping my leadership. But of course, he wanted to leave him. And then Baroness is like, no, you're going back, Cobra Commander, and you're getting the soldiers, click, click, and you're also picking up Serpentor. Yeah, I was going to leave them behind. I'd be rude to me. Who do you think I am?
Yeah, I wasn't planning that at all. Rats, they found me out.
Right?
Listen, the biggest thing I laugh about this, or is hilarious, is that he was technically just awoken and born how long ago? And he's already already to the part of like saying, give me a robe, give me a shirt, I'll be right back. And taking charge and leading and all that kind of stuff. Yes, that is it's super soldier. This is super soldier tactics to the forefront, and you're just basically seeing that, hey, this is not your average leader. Yeah, no. We like him. We don't know who this guy is, and just like, wait, who's that guy taking the chair? Is that the new boss? Is that the boss man? Is that the boss man?
Yeah.
Oh snap! Let's go.
Yeah. Right. That was the beauty of it. And then he got everyone on his side. So even at the end of the issue, when they're flying off, at the end of issue 49 or 50 was a double-sized issue. So 40, they're flying off, and they're like, man, they all escaped. G.I. Joe's like, oh, well, we took a beating there. I don't know who that person was leading them, but that guy is a tactician. Good on Larry Hammer for writing that out in the books. And once again, Serpentor is not stupid. I like a smart villain. Serpentor stood there when they're getting to Cobra Island, and he was hugging Cobra Commander really close, saying, hey, my troops, because he loves the sound of his voice. Hey, we vanquished G.I. Joe. Here we are. We returned victorious. Everyone's like, who the heck is that on Cobra Island? And he was standing so close to Cobra Commander that, and people can correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was Zartan that was supposed to take the shot to assassinate him. And Zartan couldn't get a clear bead because he was standing too close to Cobra Commander. And even Cobra Commander's like, yeah, I got to call off this assassination because if he dies now,
right,
it's going to divide Cobra.
Right.
Because people are going to turn around and automatically blame me for having him assassinated.
Right.
They're going to see through the BS, and everyone's going to know it was me that said, yeah, assassinate him. Genius.
Facts.
Genius.
Facts.
Right. I loved every aspect of that. Now, the Hasbro way, the cartoon way, very similar, as I said, Sergeant Slaughter, but they already had his outfit there. They already had his air chariot made for him ahead of time. Right. A couple of times it got sabotaged by Cobra Commander and Scrap Iron. He paid Scrap Iron to get some formula, put it in there, and make a monster at one point. So it made Dr. Mindbender look like he was not, right.
He wasn't. Yeah, exactly. Like he was proficient with his calculations and how he was setting this all up. It was hilarious because Cobra Commander realized that from the beginning of that whole arc, Cobra Commander wanted to interfere, but he said no. Scrap Iron was saying, do you want to interfere? Do you want to stop him? He said, no. Let them do what they're doing. And when it fails, I will be victorious. But the problem was that every tactical stuff they were doing, getting the remains, getting all the historical DNA, basically going to all the tombs, and basically getting all the DNA from all the conquering historians that they were trying to go for.
Yes.
Was actually working in part. It was making sense, and it was actually good. A few times that they might have just thought, but by the skin of their teeth, they were able to get what they needed. Cobra was able to get what they needed and get out before Joe's came in. But in all, the plan was being successful. Cobra Commander now was like realizing, I'm expecting this guy to drop the ball, and he's not dropping the ball. This is not looking good. Scrap Iron, we need to thwart this plan as soon as possible. And the only thing that did work out is that when they were going for the last one, when they were going for Sun Tzu's DNA.
Yes,
that was the only one he was not able to get.
Yes.
And Mindbender was so upset with that. And he's like, damn, I really needed that. Because Destro was even telling him, like, don't you need Sun Tzu's? Isn't he like the most important one?
DNA, yes.
DNA is the most important one of all these. It's like, yeah. But the greatest thing happened that Mindbender started to realize, wait a minute, at that last particular time when he missed out on that, Sergeant Slaughter was there. And realizing that, wait a minute, if it was the second to last one. It was the second to last one because they had to go for someone else. I can't remember who they were going for. They were going for someone else for the very last one. But Sergeant Slaughter was there, and it was hilarious how everybody's shooting, and Mindbender is on the radio like saying, "Don't shoot him! Don't shoot him! Don't damage the merchandise! Don't damage the merchandise!" It was hilarious, and now is the one time when we all know G.I. Joe Cobras because their shooting was never always on par. This is the one time they're being purposely told, "Don't shoot properly." Or shoot properly because you're not going to hit him. Just don't damage him. I need him in one piece. It was hilarious.
That's why I said that the stormtroopers are probably descendants of Cobra soldiers back in the day.
Facts.
They all can aim.
Facts. But it was great because then I realizing I need someone to replace him, and I'm realizing, you know what, I can take Sergeant Slaughter, who's a great tactician, he's a great warrior. Yes, I will use him in that. So again, this is where Cobra Commander now comes to the point, realizing like everything's about to fall into place. Oh snap! Scrap Iron. Listen, I need a diversion. Listen, get me some. You know what? Don't worry, I got a plan. And that, as Barry was saying, he basically went in and tried to foil the plans by mixing some type of component or basis and compound into Sergeant Slaughter's DNA solution.
Right.
Basically, at that point. And then, yes, as per, it went completely left. And then the organism or the clone body turned into some kind of wild monster and started attacking. And Cobra Commander's like, oh snap! Oh, Mindbender, like, see, you ain't doing right, man. You see, you stop this whole thing, man. You're messing up. You're wasting so much resources in this. Stop it now! I'm telling you, it was part 2. You go. I'm dying.
Yeah, and from there on, of course, they realized Scrap Iron is a mercenary to a certain degree.
Yes.
He is a mercenary.
He's a mercenary.
At one point, Dr. Mindbender's like, I know my calculations are correct. And Destro's like, are you sure those are correct? And, Scrap Iron's like, oh, yeah, your calculation's correct. But, if you pay me a fee,
I can give you an answer.
What happened?
Yeah.
Here, I'll give you whatever.
A million. That was the hilarious part. I was realizing in my head, $1 million, I'll give you money, $1 million. And I'm thinking, okay, give me $1 million. A million serpentines, like thinking, wow, so you can't even get American U.S. funds. We got to pay you in serpentines. Like, what's the exchange rate for that? I don't know, son. It made me wait.
Oh my, it was beautiful though. And he's like, oh yeah, well, this is what Cobra Commander has done. And it's like, oh, now we know. So when they're finally doing Serpentor in the cartoon and they're finally doing everything, Cobra Commander shows up, takes the vial off, put the stuff in there, and then Destro stops him. It's like, oh, or Dr. Yes. Like, oh, I don't think so. Oh, it's Destro, right?
No. It was Scrap Iron. It's Scrap Iron. He double crossed him right there. You just grabbed him like that. What are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, someone pay me better. I'm stopping for the goodness of Cobra. This is for the betterment of Cobra. I'm not going to let you succeed. What? Double cross for my own. That was the line. Double cross for my. What do you say? Double cross for my own double cross or something. I was like,
right.
Weak.
Done.
Weak.
Come on. And the thing is, after all that, he never got mad at Scrap Iron. He was like, okay, you double cross me for. I know where my team stands. There's no money. It's all ducats. Of course, and then Cobra, oh yeah, well go ahead, make your ultimate leader. You know what? And the Cobra Commander and by himself is like, well, you know what? Make your ultimate leader. I will be the one pulling the strings behind him. I'll play him like a patsy.
Right.
I'm like, okay, good luck to you. Now in a cartoon, Serpentor gets born. He gets made. He walks over. He's like, what's going on? I'm Serpentor. The whole intro. He walks over. He puts on his full snake outfit, air chariot. And then Sergeant Slaughter's taunting him, saying, oh, it's easy to fight, but a man in chains. Is like, what kind of man are you? It's like, macho man crap.
Right.
Testosterone's going. And he's like, what? Release his chains. It's like, no, Cobra Commander, what are you doing? I mean, no, Serpentor, what are you doing? He's like, I'm not going to take anyone talking to me that way.
I'll fight him.
The chain. I'll fight him one-on-one. And he jumps off his chariot, and the two of them start going to blows.
Hilarious.
Now, all I remember is, Dr. Mindbender turning around and saying, hey, man, it's a shame we didn't have Sun Tzu's DNA. We didn't have Sun Tzu's DNA. We're lacking the patience of Sun Tzu.
Yes.
This is why we needed him, because he doesn't have any patience. Sun Tzu had great patience. That's what we're missing to put this whole mix together, make the perfect Cobra Emperor. But he's winning. And sure enough, Sergeant Slaughter gave him a couple of blows.
Yeah.
It's like, Cobra Commander is like, doesn't seem that Cobra Emperor is doing all that great. It's like, and he goes back and he gives like some thumpings. He gave 5 across the eyes multiple times to Sergeant Slaughter.
So here's a part to even add in on that. Before they even went to that final blow type of fighting, is that what was it? Cobra Commander. Kind of going to what you were saying. I thought you were going to say that part. So when Serpentor put on his outfit, Cobra Commander came to him and said, listen, I know you're the figure, you're just going to be the figurehead. Don't worry about it. Leave everything to me. I know I'm pulling the strings. I'll make all the big heavy decisions. I'll be doing all the heavy liftings for you. Don't worry. You just be the front man for everybody. That's basically, and Serpentor was like, what? Is that what you think? Just dashed Cobra Commander to the side.
Fling him across the room.
What's going on? What do you mean? Like, I don't answer to no one. I'm Serpentor. This I command. So now Cobra Commander realizing, oh snap, my plan is backfiring. So now Sergeant Slaughter is chained up against the wall. All you see is Cobra Commander kind of like hummels away over to the side of the wall where Sergeant Slaughter is, and like say, listen, again. Cobra Commander is sly. He got the sly tongue. He's like, okay, listen, Joe, I know we don't see things eye to eye.
Yes.
I know we don't see things eye to eye, but if I let you go, you're gonna let me go. You're not gonna hurt me, right? We got a deal? Yeah, we got a deal. Let him go. And those two start. Then Sergeant Slaughter and Serpentor are having one fight. What you're doing is the second fight. But during that fight, he took off his chains and he started swinging around.
Right.
And hit. Oh no, sorry. The whole reason why I'm saying this is because he got the DNA. They got the DNA for Sergeant Slaughter, but they never used it because before he actually infused him. Because in my head, the whole time, Sergeant Slaughter, you will never use me. I will never go against Joes. I will never go against the Joes.
Yes, that's right. He broke the vial.
And he broke the vial. So he broke the vial. So in my head, that's the reason why, because you reminded me when you said that he doesn't have the patience of two sons, Sun Tzu. So which would have been kind of like the replacement. Sergeant Slaughter was supposed to replace that. So because he doesn't even have that, so at least now, because in my head, I'm watching all this, I'm thinking, I can't remember. Are you really telling us that Sergeant Slaughter has the DNA in? Are they going to allow that? Are they going to really allow that to happen? Right. So at the last second, bam, he hit the vial. So technically, in all respect, Sergeant Slaughter is not none of his DNA has been contributed to the creation of. Right. No. But it was right to the very end. Because I was looking at the notes, I'm like thinking, wow, how would Sergeant Slaughter feel realizing that technically my son it's going against Joe, my brother. It's going against Joe's. No. He was so adamant not to, so they made sure they wrote him out so he didn't have to. But then he got like
a Vision, Simon, Wonder Man kind of thing.
Facts.
Wow.
Facts. So they slipped out. They just exit stage right on that one as quick as possible. But then he got bounded again, and then what's that boy's name? Cobra Commander said, "I'll release you. Just make don't kill me." Kind of scenario. Cool. Then they fought. It's hilarious. There's so many battles. Yo, those guys were giving thumps across the building. Oh. It was wonderful because you see, Sergeant Slaughter was giving him licks. Serpentor was giving him licks, and the biggest joke is that they went throughout the whole compound. Wherever it was, Mindbender's laboratory was, ended up going down the hall, breaking down walls. I'm like thinking, listen, how strong are the structures of the Cobra base that you can literally pick up the man, super soldier serum. I understand, but man, he just broken through solid concrete walls. And then he's going down the hall, fighting back to here, another room, again to the control room. But I digress.
Yeah, but that's
it was
because
hilarious.
they were inside a large version of the Cobra Terradome. That was what their base was.
Right.
And they started from the base inside the lab, then down the hallway. And then, of course, you got Zartan, Zarena, and Xandor all talking. And Xandor's like, I really can go for some action. It's been boring around here. Boom! Knocked out. Sergeant Slaughter's running through the door.
Make way! I'm coming through!
And then also you see, like, Serpentor coming on his air chariot, shooting at him. And then, everyone's running and everyone keeps pushing them to the ground, right? So they get pushed to the ground by Sergeant Slaughter.
Yes.
Pushed to the ground by Serpentor. Pushed to the ground by Destro, Baroness, and Dr.
Mindbender. Yeah.
And then they're on the floor finally, and who's walking by whistling with his hands behind his
back?
Walking. Cobra Commander. And you're like, what's going on? It's like, that's your new Cobra leader. And it's like, Cobra Commander's just walking. Doo-doo-doo. Hey, how y'all doing? You guys are on the floor? Okay, yeah, let's go see this fight.
Yeah, let's go.
So this fight started on the inside, got to the outside, and that was such a great introduction lead up for this character. Like the 5-part lead up for this character in the cartoon was great. The comic book, how Larry Hama did it for issue 49, double size issue 50 for G.I. Joe. Of course, 50 is a monumental issue number. And then going forth like that for any comic, great how he put the Serpentor around. Now, here's my thing though. A lot of people, and I was trying to find the person who actually created Serpentor, like the actual toy maker. I know it's Hasbro, but it was a particular guy at Hasbro that kind of came up with the concept. And I was still to reference his number or his name. I'm going to find it somewhere. It's harder to find than anything else. And I have to say this. I looked at this, and regardless of who made Serpentor, he was influenced by another actor. This actor, once again, has influenced the bad guys of my childhood, which I enjoy the most. So let's give some flowers to my homeboy, James Earl Jones. Right? James Earl Jones, that's right, was the voice of Darth Vader from the 1977 movie up to just recently, and he just recently retired from doing the voice. But James Earl's voice was, "You do not know the power of the dark side." Right?
I am your father. Yes.
Because a lot of times, and that's it. So James Earl Jones was the influence. Partially, he was 1 out of 4 people behind Darth Vader. He was the voice,
right?
Because they had 3 other actors doing different roles for Darth Vader. So that's one. But James Earl Jones did a movie, Conan the Barbarian, and in there, he played a character called Thulsa Doom, which was all a snake-themed cult that he had going on that he was the head of, and he wore robes, and at one point he had like a serpent head that he was able to turn into a serpent head. Thulsa Doom, James Earl Jones, and this was him playing the role, not voicing it. It was him. They gave him a perm, so he had a Cat Williams perm, but he was bulkier, and Thulsa Doom. And the creator, the toy creator, not the company, and the person that made the idea of Serpentor, turned around and said, I was influenced by that performance by James Earl Jones as Thulsa Doom to make a Cobra leader, because he was leading a cult. He was dealing with the serpent thing, the snake thing. He goes, I like the snake theme. So James Earl Jones gets a lot of recognition for one, but maybe not enough for the other.
Facts.
Right. Okay. Thank you, James Earl Jones. Indirectly, he was the creator, the influence. And he was not the creator, but the influence for Serpentor. So let's recognize that.
Facts.
And give that man his flowers.
Facts.
And a lot of times when you're looking at villains in the past were always disfigured, or they were meek in most games. They weren't cool looking. And so Star Wars came around, in my opinion, and maybe other properties just before, where they made cool looking villains. Every time you saw a villain, you're like, okay, you always want to get the heroes out of the playset.
Right.
You never got the villain. You got the villain the odd time because, maybe someone's grandparents said, oh, this is what they would like, and that's the only toy that's available because everyone bought the main hero. Let's be real. If you got grandparents, your parents bought you Superman, your aunts and uncles bought you the Superman playset, and then maybe your grandparent, not knowing about playsets and toys, just know you want something Superman, they buy the one that has the most stock on the shelf, and that's Lex Luthor.
Right.
Back in the day. And you're like, I got Superman. I got Superman's Fortress, and Lex Luthor. Okay. But of course, this day and age, you look at it and it's like, well, anyone that bought the Lex Luthor figure is probably worth more than a Superman figure because it's rarity. So, it's just full circle.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, Darth Vader was a cool villain.
Yep.
Everyone looked at Darth Vader like that black suit. People wanted to buy Darth Vader, just like people wanted to buy Serpentor, the Cobra Emperor. Hasbro Pulse came out and redid the figure under G.I. Joe Classified line. And that, you can buy him with the whole chariot, and he's a taller figure and all. Beautiful, well done. But the influence is there. So cool looking villains. Either way, this villain, he led from the forefront. He led from the line. He was out there fighting, Cobra. He didn't lead from behind like Cobra Commander did. Right. He was right there in the thick of it.
Yeah.
And his story goes on even further. So depending on which one you go, he formed another group that was seen as a cult within Cobra, or another subgroup within Cobra called the Coil. And he has his whole, beef going back and forth because he was part of the main thing, which was the Cobra Civil War, that it divided Cobra versus the Coil on their own Cobra Island at one point. And there was a lot of political deals that were happening, trying to say, okay, well, which side should the U.S. support, G.I. Joe should support, and blackmail. At one point, a Cobra black box was, not Cobra, G.I. Joe black box was captured. It was on the island from one of their planes, and they were fighting over it. So it was a lot of back and forth that actually caused the Cobra Civil War. And that storyline was fire. It was fun to read, to see the two of them going back and forth. Cobra Commander trying to use political influence, and Serpentor just being the ultimate tactician, blocking his soldiers, Cobra's Commander soldiers, on every way. But of course, there's a lot of things. I mean, we'll go over like in a nutshell. Cobra Commander at the time wasn't Cobra Commander. Cobra Commander was one of the Crimson Guard, because the true Cobra Commander and Destro were trapped under the G.I. Joe pit base, collapsed. Everyone thought they were dead. This guy who was Fred 7 from the Crimson Guard turned around, and he was making Cobra Commander a new armor, power armor. He put himself in it and then said he was Cobra Commander coming back. And only person that knew was Baroness.
Right.
So Baroness is like, okay, I'll keep your secret, but I need you to do certain favors for me. And then until the real Cobra Commander showed back up and said, what are you doing? And it was like, Zartan seemed to not see, and I say seemed, he seemed to kill off Serpentor, but before Serpentor comes back, because he was in a black box operation that was underneath the pit. So the pit's underground for G.I. Joe, and that was underneath the pit. So he has a long going story. I wanted to see more with the Coil, but with everything with Serpentor doing, he was a pivotal character. Right. The only difference is with him, and I think some people like it, some people don't. So we go back to G.I. Joe the movie. We've talked about that a couple episodes back.
Yep.
And in G.I. Joe the movie, Serpentor was the gateway to bringing in new characters, which was Cobra Law.
Right.
Saying that Dr. Bellybender didn't have this idea himself. It was Cobra Law that put the idea in Cobra Commander. Sorry, in Dr. Bellymbender's head.
Yeah.
Cobra Commander is from Cobra Law. He's not human. And if you watch the cartoon, they almost drop hints to him not being human at times, where you see Destro walks in, sees him eating, and he goes, put your hood back on, Cobra Commander. I don't want to see you eat. He's like, oh, you don't like the look of my face. Ha ha. But, so it seems like maybe that might have been always an idea there.
Right.
Where in the comic book, he was always human.
Right.
Always human. Regardless of which one you like, I still say Cobra is Serpentor. I mean, that air chariot, and they gave blueprints, functional blueprints, and all that could work. So the show. Let's get right down to it. Rod. I'd say G.I. Joe live action. Sorry, I'm a little bit stuffy.
Yep.
G.I. Joe live action or cartoon, however you want to do it. I want to see Serpentor. Here, let's fan cast it right now. Who would you want to fan cast as Serpentor, the Cobra Emperor?
So I already got my person. So here's the scenario. I want a live action. I want a live action because we've had the anime, we have the cartoon, we have the animes, we have the cartoon. So we don't need to redo that right now. No. We could do that, after a live action, if they want to do an updated one, if they wanted to do the same way like they're doing with X-Men 90. Yes. When they want to bring that back, 89, sorry, if we want to bring that back, perfect. But right now, I want a live action. Who I want as a live action person is I'll put this little footnote. Currently, right now, there's stuff going on where there's the conversation that two particular characters were supposed to come together for a movie. And then due to some changes that happened in the back end, these two individuals are not coming together. This is Black Adam, and this is Superman. So I would like to have Henry Cavill come in as him. Now here's a twofold on that. I want to help out The Rock. The Rock wanted to get these two together. The Rock, you know him in the third personality, always want to get the two people together. So if we got Roadblock and Serpentor in a movie,
wow,
right there, we can get you right there. We can get you right there. Now let's go to Henry. Now this gentleman has been playing. He's played so many different characters that you can clearly he can adapt to that. Listen, if we want the aggression and the forefront kind of person, The Witcher, we're coming. That's at the forefront right now. So ask me the forefront of the of the characteristics I want. I'm going to also want. All I want him to do is pull the Mission Impossible. I just wanted to do a double punch. If Serpentor just comes out off the chariot, I'm going to fight Roadblock or whatever it is, and just go into double pump mode. I'm like, I'm done. You got my money. My money. Take it and go. Take it and go. Listen, he has a smooth talkie again. You saw it in the comic books. He's smooth talker to the Baroness. That we can go with the Clark Kent type of scenario, but we can also go from the Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yes,
he was a smooth talker. He was a smooth talker in the Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yes.
Oh, that needs a sequel. Sequel. That needs a very serious sequel. Shout out for that team. They need to come back with a second one on that one. But again, there are certain characteristics at it. And again, I want someone who's tall, who has the build, but I want to at least try to get that body frame of the animation. I think I can really see Henry with the headgear, the crawl, the cape, get us a flying his flying
chariot.
Listen, I think I can see that. I think I can see that. Henry with the flying chariot. I want to see him somehow put the flying chariot into the movie, and then
they have to. I want the Serpentor, not a version of Serpentor.
Right,
on the flying chariot. Yeah.
That to me, Henry Cavill would be my with everything that's going on right now. Let's put him into that universe. He's DC universe already. You know, there's hearing talk that he may be in a Marvel universe. Listen, we know. Well, we'll see. We'll talk. They're talk that they're trying to kind of, they want to go that route. But listen, I'm in the G.I. Joe, which is a G.I. Joe / Transformer universe. If we can build on that as well, put him in there.
Ooh, okay.
I think it's a wrap.
I like where you're going. Okay, I need to think about the Roadblock aspect. That's really okay. That's cool. I like that. Yeah, all right. I can see that. Because I can definitely see that. All right, but of course, I'm gonna go with my guy here.
Okay,
right, and it still plays off to it now. How well would it work out with, let's say, Dwayne Johnson as Roadblock? I think it'll be very interesting. And I think the two of them will get along really well.
Oh, you did not.
Oh, yeah.
Go. Oh, God. Wait a minute. Go.
So, the guy I chose can go pound for pound with The Rock. He already has. Right? A lot of people compare the two together because they've both gone the acting way. I'm going straight out Dave Bautista.
Woo!
Dave Bautista as Serpentor.
He was on my short list. He was literally on my short list, and I'm like,
right? If you watch, that movie Onions, Knives Out, or whatever.
Yes.
Onion, Knives Out. Right? If you remember from James Bond movies, I'm not even talking Drax. in the James Bond movie.
No. Yeah, it's not Drax. Yeah, it won't be a Drax. He'd be pulling another one. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, I know. He wants to do more serious character acting.
Yes.
Serpentor has a range. You have to turn around and you have to capture the range of different leaders running around in your head to be / super soldier / Cobra Emperor. You're not going to be a pansy. You're not going to be a weak-willed person. No. You're going to have a journey. You're going to still have the flirtatious part there. You're going to have some humor that's going to be in there inadvertently, and you're going to be in an action movie full out. Now, I know he doesn't want to be in Marvel movies or plays not Marvel movies. He doesn't want to play Drax anymore because the paint from head to toe was annoying him. So the way I look at it is the only time that he would have to get painted, air quotes, is when they're putting him in his body, right? Just paint him so his body doesn't have any of the tattoos showing. As soon as he puts on the armor, he's in his costume the rest of the time.
Correct.
All you see is his face. The rest of him is covered head to toe. So he doesn't have to worry about being painted every single time. You got no work, you put on your costume, you go. He has the face and the voice. I can see him saying, "This I command." He's got that deep, grovelly voice. He can turn around and play and try to pull off and do different things of when visually show him being Julius Caesar, visually show him being Vlad the Impaler, visually show him channeling certain aspects of different persons in there and giving them their own quirks. And then, of course, going back to one of the episode of, I can't remember what it was called, but I think My Greatest Things, where Serpentor was losing his identity and he wanted to find items that he had as his past self. So he wanted to find like a battle hammer,
right?
An axe, a sword, things that would kind of help him, that would be interesting to see him at least have those in the background. Doesn't have to do it. Let's not waste the story, but have those in the background, maybe in his throne room, and have those things part of his throne room. And what's that? This is my sword when I was Julius Caesar, and this is the spear I used when I did this, and have those already there. But Dave Bautista, as the actor he's really sinking his teeth into, he has the body, he's got the look, he's got the voice. You just put on the costume. Just give him the costume. He's there. Now, of course, with him in the movie, and you have Dwayne Johnson, if he takes back the role as Roadblock, and you have him in the movie, and the two of them obviously are going to come face to face. Because Dave, there's nobody Sergeant Slaughter. There's only one Sergeant Slaughter, so we're not going to, that actor won't be there. Maybe Sergeant Slaughter can make a cameo appearance in the G.I. Joe movie, but he'd be more like how Joe was, how the character,
right? General, Bruce Willis,
Bruce Willis, right? Just be there to say, okay, it's Sergeant Slaughter, blah blah blah, kind of tied in, boom. But here's Roadblock, and then everyone's gonna wait for the Roadblock Serpentor throwdown, just like they did with Vin Diesel and Dwayne Johnson in the Fast and Furious movie when he chased them and they had that fight in the warehouse. Everyone talked about it. You do it right, you got it. Don't kill him off. Put him in a classic costume. Dave Bautista, and not just let Dave be, well, he's the big guy in the costume. No, let him be the Cobra Emperor. Let him be intelligent. Let him be charismatic. Let him channel past people that his DNA came from and then get into it. Let him deal, and really make him a smart character, because Cobra Commander has always been kind of off-ish there in the background. Let Cobra Commander try to backstab him, but he's the Cobra Emperor / super soldier. Let him be that person with the air chariot. Dave Bautista is my go-to for Serpentor. This I command.
All right. You know what? I like your choice. I mean, either can work. Work. You're looking from both aspect of it. Both actors have the ability to channel that. I thought of Dave for a quick second, and I'm like, but until the way you're explaining it out, it definitely can work. Can work.
Give him another franchise movie, and if it's only this is the last Joe live action movie, this is the third one, you got to bring in Serpentor. If you don't bring in Serpentor, you fail the franchise.
Facts. No, hard facts. You don't have to do the Cobra Law. We won't get to there. You don't have to bring that up. That's a whole arc by itself. You want to do number 4 or 5? Fine, we'll do that later on. Right now, I would just say, if they do decide to, give it another shot, do number 3, throw in Serpentor, because now you're going to now we're going from the villain side of things, because the first bring on the bad guys, but that's I'm literally trying to go through. I'm going through, because the second one was definitely the heroes. They're on their own. They've been, the villains. Yes, they took over the country type of scenario, but it was more or less from the viewpoint of Roadblock, Flint, and Lady J. Or Scar? No, was it Scarlet Lady? No, was it Lady J, right? Lady Jane. I think Lady Jane. That was her character.
No, it was Scarlet. No,
it was Scarlet. Either way.
Lady J.
Yeah, either way. But it was more or less from that. It was still from that standpoint. It was still from the Joe standpoint.
Right.
I would say I fully agree. Let's do G.I. Joe. You did the Rise of Cobra. That was that one. I don't know how you will name it. Maybe don't say Serpentor in there, but let him be a character in there. But this one will come from the standpoint of Cobra. They've been defeated. They're doing the same thing like the storyline. They've been defeated so many times. It's like I said, we need a win. We need a win. We need some kind of crazy idea, and then let's go. Now, is Mindbender in the movie?
Yeah, he was in the first one. He was played by the actor who played Robin, so to speak, from the Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. There, he was also Jason Gordon-Levitt.
Oh yes.
Remember, he started off as Dr. Mindbender. So no. Mindbender. Sorry, he was there, but Mindbender was in the bunker. But Mindbender got killed.
Right. Correct.
Right. They can always bring him back. Come on. They can always say, "Oh, they faked this."
Yeah.
Come on. There's a new Dr. Mindbender. There's ways around that.
Yeah. They could do that. So okay, no. So they did bring him in there. So we can bring him back, or we'll bring him back. So he wasn't in the second one. That's why he wasn't in the second one.
Yeah, exactly.
But at least have the idea that he basically come up with the idea, and we're going to rob all the graves of all these great leaders. And just basically, let's do some high-tech, futuristic George Jetson type of ideas, like stuff that you realize this is pure comic book This is more comic book storyline that you're coming from.
Of course, let's be real, right? And if they were able to bring back Han from Fast and Furious, they can bring back Dr. Mindbender. When they said, "Oh, he died," they could have said, "Oh, I lied and I was working on a secret project. I see Cobra Commanders got captured. I have a way to give you guys the ultimate leader, super soldier, to win. I just need, the regular science community won't support me, and I'll give you guys results." Okay,
I've been working on the figures all this time. Same with like the movie. I had the dream after I had this crazy vision of doing all this, so it took me all this time. I was underground coming with the figures. Now that Cobra is back up and running, kind of scenario. Okay, I got something that we can do, that we can take out the Joes and get back and get this country under us. Bam. That would
deal, right?
Deal.
Woo! Oh man,
that works. Yeah,
that works. Hey, all right. So, Rod, any last notes on this one?
Listen, Serpentor is a character that, when he was created or he was added on to the G.I. Joe franchise, he was to, again, bring in new characters, but he was to give you the different type of vision of a leader, from being, leading from the back, he's leading from the front. This is what Cobra needs. Yeah. So I like that type of mindset, and we're basically saying, listen, if you're going to be a secret terrorist organization, you need to be like going all the way to the wall. You need to be like saying like, no hold bars, I'm going in. Serpentor was giving you that type of characteristics of that type of character. He was that type of individual. So I would say, yeah, this is a good one that could be used, brought in, and just basically like say, why not? Why not? It can work.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. I think, that I feel that Serpentor is a character that's been looked over, got to come into the live action movies. And I mean, if you want to see more of what we had to say about Serpentor and Cobra Commander, go back to one of our classic episodes. I'll actually tag it below, where we talked about G.I. Joe, the movie, and we had our fun with that one. And, I kept singing the song. You're all lucky my voice is a little bit off today. Can't get enough of that theme song, and I want to do one quick thing before we head out here. I know there's a couple of podcasts that follow us, so I want to shout them out real quick. And one of them really is Wrestling World, because we are wrestling fans. So Wrestling World podcast, you can find him on Good Pods. Look him up. This guy's name is Austin Boyer, and he follows us and he shouts us out. So I wanted to return the favor to Austin.
Nice.
Thank you very much,
Austin.
We appreciate you, and everything you're doing on the Good Podcast, the Good Pods site, and shouting us out and sharing it. And for all podcasters, there's enough out there for everybody in the world to listen to and appreciate. So wanted to give you your flowers, so to speak, sir. Congratulations. Thank you very much. I spoke to him at the get-go when he started up that group, and he's been growing ever since. So I do enjoy what he's doing, and he hit his 100th episode. So congratulations.
Congrats. Shout out to you, man. Shout out.
Keep it up, man. Keep it up. I love what he does. Comes out with episodes weekly. So look for him on Good Pods. Once again, that's Wrestling World, Austin Boyer on Good Pods. And on that note, keep in mind that this whole world, before I forget, like, subscribe, and share, rate, and review. Thank you very much, people. We're a little bit out of practice. Okay, keep that in mind. And remember, this whole world was started by a pencil, a piece of paper, and lots of imagination. Keep on dreaming.
This I command.
Through the night. Okay, yeah, okay, we're good. Oh, yeah, bring back the coil.
Where's my flying chariot?
Oh, shoot. Oh, gosh. With gas prices these days, I need a flying chariot. All right.
Yeah, I don't know about that, man. That'd be a lot. That's a lot of money right there, buddy. That's a lot of money right there.
Be safe.
Watch out for the trees.